Hello, I hope we're on. Molo, Sawubona, Dumelang. I've just greeted you in a few of our South African languages. But for all my South African friends, how's it? And welcome to Chasing the Rainbows conversation. My name is Chantal. I am the founder of Timber Travel. And I just want to welcome you um, for the next 30 minutes as we have some conversations with people about our beautiful country. So I am mother, wife, and a lover of all things South African. I love my country, and even in this time where everything has been halted, I really felt the need that while we are still at home, some of us, why not take this opportunity and talk a little bit about the country and things that you could just expect from the country. I'm so proud to be a South African. As a family, we are based in the UK at the moment, and this is from where I manage the company. And if you are a traveler at heart like I am, I'm sure you have fond memories of traveling. My father, we were very young, would take us to where he was born in the Karoo in South Africa. And I have fond memories of getting into a yellow Volkswagen combi or a van and taking a long trip. It felt like it took forever to get to where he was born. And I just have such amazing memories of traveling, of exploring, of seeing places, of meeting different people. And well, as I grew older, it just continued. I have a family, and we've just continued traveling and exploring and just meeting people all around the world. We've traveled in South Africa, well, and then also internationally. And there are so many things to see when you travel, and there's so many memories. But my greatest memories of traveling has always been engaging with the people of the town. And Timber Travel is all about connecting with the people, engaging with the people, as well as seeing, beautiful, iconic attractions of South Africa. We've got Table Mountain, we've got Kirstenbosch Gardens, we've got just the most amazing scenic beauty in South Africa. We've got very difficult but wonderful history as well. But in my traveling, from going to museums or going to the beach or just seeing different things, the thing that sticks out for me has always been to meet up with the people, to listen to people's stories, and it just amazes me. And you can visit as many museums as you like, and I've done it many times, and I've been fascinated by history. But a lot of that history are also, history of people that has died hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But Timber Travel wants to introduce you to people that's very much alive in South Africa, wonderful people that make South Africa great, people that entrepreneurs, artists, small businesses. And sometimes when you travel as a tourist, you don't always get to see these wonderful community initiatives. And Timber Travel would love to take you there. As a small management company, we focus mainly on community building and doing tours, educational tours, wildlife and conservation, and also volunteering experiences in South Africa. What makes us unique? I do love an authentic experience, and this experience with Timber Travel is about, just combining the most beautiful, iconic attractions, but also meeting the colorful, beautiful people of South Africa. And Timber Travel would like to take you there. So what can you expect over the next few minutes? We're going to be chatting to a partner of mine in my business. We will be, sharing on, what's happening in the country at the moment. If you've joined us from you know, another country, please just on our Facebook page where we are live now, just tell me where you're from, why you're listening. Be kind. Be kind, be respectful, but we would love to engage with you. And as I said, we'll introduce our partners over the next 3 days. We will have conversations about educational tours, about volunteering in South Africa, and then also about wildlife and conservation on Friday. You might ask why now when everything is kind of grounded. You know, while we are waiting for the borders to open, we can start planning our next holiday, and we would love you to come to South Africa. I want to introduce you to my first guest now, but before I introduce you, let me just show you a little bit what is he all about. So have a look at this. And that's it. I'd love to introduce my first guest tonight. He is Dion Kitching. He is the CEO and founder of Embrace South African Tours. Welcome, Dion. Are you with us?
Well, good evening, and thank you very much for the introduction. Chantal, it's great to be with you and everybody around the world who's tuning in and with us tonight. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share with you. And I was listening to your introduction, and I was just so fired up to start traveling again. Yeah, no, so thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with
You know, obviously we you know, as travel into the travel business, we've kind of been grounded and couldn't do much. But I just thought, you know, we need to kind of think creatively, and thought of, you know, creating this platform where we could just while the borders are still closed, we could start talking and just, you know, create some interest. People that maybe have, you know, wanted to always come to South Africa, that over the next few months, you know, while we wait, that we could give them a little sneak peek of, you know, what was to be expected.
Yes, that's right. Chantal, it's interesting. I've been attended several webinars about how the travel industry will look like when we open up again. And it's interesting to see that everybody agrees that people would like to travel to a destination which is not overpopulated, over tourism, as they call it, but more an opportunity to get into the wild, enjoying wildlife and the scenery. And as you know, being a South African, we have a lot of those in South Africa. And luckily, we have already, with working in the travel industry for the past 18 years, we have shaped our tours in such a way that you really get a good feeling of South African scenery all the nature and yeah, all the beautiful places that South Africa is well known for.
Yes. Let's just a little bit of background how I met Dion, because you know when I decided starting Timber Travel, it was really important for me to partner with people that's like-minded, people that yes, we do love the beautiful scenery of a country, but we also love engaging with the people. And we understand that the people of South Africa are, you know, this is what makes the country. So I was actually a student of Dion.
Yeah,
About 20 years ago, I studied at the college where he was my lecturer.
that's
But Dion,
right.
I
I
want to
can.
share, I don't know if you remember, this is like 20 years ago. I just
I
remember
remember
you.
very well. Yeah, I remember you
I
very
remember
well.
you as coming into the class many times and saying, Chantal, or the rest of the class, you know, guys, what's happening? What's happening in your lives? Can we put the books aside today? Let's just talk.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And that
important for
I
me.
that I remember of you being so relational, always wanting to
Yeah,
find out how we were doing. I don't know if you remember that, but
I can remember. Yes,
that
that's
is a
right.
memory that sticks with me, you know. And
Oh,
so
that's great. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you
so
very
it's no
much.
surprise that you also love engaging with people. But tell us, from lecturing at a university to starting a travel business, how did that happen?
Well, Chantal, actually, when I was still at the Huguenot College, I partnered with American universities, especially you know, individuals come over to South Africa, and we featured at the Huguenot College every year what we call a spring school. And
Okay, yes.
during that interaction between us, one of the lecturers or teachers in the United States asked me, do you think we can bring group to South Africa? And that was in 2001. And I said, yes, why not? And because of the same reasons that you've mentioned, I love travel.
Mm-hmm.
I love showing my country to other people because there are such a lot of things that we can show.
Mm-hmm.
I love our people because that's, I think, the biggest benefit and asset of our country. So that's when I put together a first educational tour for Westchester University in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And from that on, they have been coming. And this year or next year, they're still in the balance, you know, will they come again? But that will be their 20th year of visiting South Africa.
Wow.
So yeah, I think it's a combination of my different fields of interest. You know, I love working with people, and I love education.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love sitting in front of books and just reading stuff, but experiencing and
Yeah.
experiential learning is very important for me.
Yes.
Yes.
And so you obviously, you know, you are your expertise is really in the educational tours, and
Right.
we've partnered so that we could bring, you know, people that's interested in educational tours specifically, bring them over to South Africa. But you have tours for high school learners. And then you also have, like you mentioned, university students. And
Right.
like you said, you started off really with the university students. So
Right.
education, is it really, how does these tours work? And I know what you said, I know for the high school it's about 8 days, but for the universities it's about 12 days, or however they decide how long they want to come. Can you give us an idea, what are the things that, you know, you would cover, say,
Yeah.
for a university tour?
I think what's important is to remember that going on a trip overseas is a mind-changing and a life-changing experience for people. And, you know, the way that we've structured our educational tours is to say it's a multifaceted tour and experience. So we don't just do some fun activities. We have 4 basic pillars that we have built our educational tours on. The first one is that you get into the history and the political history of South Africa. But then the second one is that you really get in touch with the South African people and the community. The third one would be that you enjoy the scenery of being in South Africa. And then sometimes it all depends on time and money. The fourth pillar would be go on a wild game drive or a game drive. And those 4 elements, when we plan an educational tour, so for instance, you have a university in the UK that wants to come to South Africa, and they have a specific semester where they focus on colonialism and the influence of colonialism in Africa. Then we would like to see that some of the events, some of the places that we visit ties in with your specific focus. So we do have a little bit of flexibility to shift in consultation with the class leader or the professor, the emphasis of where you want to put it. I have now a university where the professor wants to have a look on more on the life of Gandhi in South Africa, because Gandhi lived in South Africa for quite a while.
Yes.
So that's how we start with the and in Johannesburg. He stayed in Johannesburg for quite a while also.
And so the high school, I suppose the high school tours will look slightly different as well. It also would be on something they are focusing on, but it's so great to have young people coming. I know from your tours that they actually are able to engage then with South African high school students.
That's right.
That's their peer group, really.
Right. So that's one of the important things for high school students. I don't think one should, for instance, a high school tour is basically 8 days, 7 to 8 days, because they have adapted to their school calendar, and also the time that they can be away from their schools. While universities can be between 10 and 12 days. And then when it comes to the structuring of the program, we also like to build in some activities where they visit schools, and sometimes they do activities with the schools, and they sometimes do outings or field trips with different schools in South Africa, so that they really can get, there's nothing more exciting and to see a group of visitors from the UK, a school from the UK, and a school in South Africa partnering, and spend a day going to Cape Point and do the history of South Africa and things like that.
Yes. So it's really a great combination then, from cultural and also better history, but also then, and I suppose even in tours like that, you can make such good friends. You could stay in touch even afterwards, and I think young people love that.
Yeah, they do. And it's interesting to see how many of the people come for a second or the third trip to South Africa, even after they have been here with their university or with their school. When they have completed their studies, they visit South Africa again, or they come here and they follow it up with a volunteer program, one of the volunteer programs that you are involved with. So they really enjoy it, and they keep in touch with each other. And nowadays, with Skype and the WhatsApp calls and things like that, it's much easier. So they really stay in touch.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
It's a lot of fun.
So I mean, we cannot just talk about, our tours and what we offer without touching a little bit on what the pandemic has kind of, what effect it had on the tourist industry. And I know even here in the UK of people losing their jobs and, in the aviation industry, millions and millions being lost in this time. But things are slowly and surely, getting back up and running again. But what
Yeah.
is it like for South Africa? I know a week ago I read somewhere that domestic travel will start again, but not international travel yet.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it had a great effect on your business as well.
It does. It really has. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime experience. I can't describe it as, the one day we were still busy sorting out, where are people going to stay and when are we going to do this and no. And then the next moment, I mean, within a week, we have to cancel everything. And so it was very, very disruptive, and it is bad for the whole industry in South Africa, because it's not just the tour operators, but there's also the tour guides, and there's your accommodation and the places that people visit. So it's very drastic. I know that the government is trying to subsidize people and subsidize industry, but the money is not, the depth of the money is not there to really carry people. So what we have to do is we have to make sure that we are up and running and ready when people say that we'd like to travel, that, we are ready for them to come.
And of course, timber travel, like I said, our main focus is really on community building. We love to, with the tours that we do, we want to kind of be part of the building of a community. And we know that tour guides, are really small businesses. It's and when the lockdown is over and we can travel again, we really want to pour into those small businesses. I mean, they do make up a big percentage of what makes the economy running. So we want to be pouring into our small businesses.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I also try to do, is I try to work with tour guides, people who own smaller enterprises when it comes to executing my tours. For instance, I work with a guide in Langa, Otwa Fuchani, very, very nice guy, 29 years old. And like myself, I'm a tour operator, and I sit here and I don't have any work. He doesn't have any work. So what we did now is the two of us teamed up, and he knows his community very well. So with my contacts in my community, we are working on every Monday, they collect food parcels and clothes for people in Langa, and then Ottawa will mobilize the community so that the community can come and get the different food. So that is just a way that we at the moment try to give back to the community,
That's fantastic. I love the South African spirit. We love to, it's just amazing. There's just always hope. We always think of, what can we do? How can we help? And I think for me, in essence, even starting the business, Timber Travel, was really about that. Pouring into the communities, also giving opportunity for those smaller businesses, those entrepreneurs, that we intentionally, when we do a tour, that we do go and we do support them in their business.
Right.
But Dion, show us some pictures, show us some things that you do, and let's see those university students.
Let me just see if I can get all my pictures ready here. I have just put together some pictures. Can you see the lion?
Yes, yes, I see the lion.
I think one of the things that we are really excited about is to get people out in the wildlife
Mm,
and to give them opportunity to travel with us, and we visit different places where there's wildlife. We have the
mm,
Big Five in South Africa. So
mhm.
I hope I'm right if I say it's the lion, the elephant, the rhino, um, and other stuff.
Somebody has asked me, what is the big five?
Well,
Um,
they have now the big seven,
the big
and then
seven.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the whales and dolphins, and then they have
Yes,
also
yes.
the smallest
Yeah.
five and whatever.
Yeah,
So
but I
this is
mean,
a
those are
slide.
all things we'd love to teach people over the next couple
Yeah,
of months. What is
yeah,
the big five? What is the small five?
yeah.
And that's Lion's Head.
This is
Um,
Lion's Head, close to Cape Town. I'm standing here with
mm,
my back to
mhm,
Table Mountain, and this is Lion's Head. Just to give you a little bit of feeling, this is a
mhm,
slide of the jackass penguins that we have in South Africa. And where we take our tourists or our groups, very interesting place. That's a natural habitat. They have decided we want to stay here in Simonstown in this area in the
mm.
boulders, and
Baldur's
they have
Beach.
a
Mhm.
yeah Boulders Beach in Simonstown, and they have now a breeding program because they are endangered species. And everybody loves the jackass penguins.
Yes. I
Then
think the Baldur's Beach is one of the main attractions also if you're in Cape Town. Apart from Table Mountain, Kirstenbosch Gardens, Boulders Beach
right,
is also one of those things up there. And look at the creative, colorful instruments made.
right. That's an elephant. This guy was just bathing when we. You can see how close sometimes we get to the animals.
Now, is this
Uh,
reserve in Cape Town, Dion, where the elephant is, or is it the one um, up in the north?
this one is the Kola Game Reserve, which is
Mm-hmm.
about 2.5 hours from Cape Town. Now,
Okay.
sometimes, for instance, with especially with our school groups,
Mm-hmm.
they say like we just want to go to one destination. So they fly in from the UK or the United States and they stay in Cape Town,
Mm-hmm.
but they want to have the experience of
Mm-hmm.
the wildlife. Then we
Mm-hmm.
take them to Aquila.
Yeah.
If there are university students and they want to do a longer time in South Africa, then we take them up to places in the north like Pilanesberg or Dinuging Game Reserve or so.
Mm-hmm. That's
So yeah,
great.
that's just Table Mountain from the
Mm.
city. Um, this is more up in the northern part of the country. This is part of the cradle of humankind.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there multiple times with groups. That's actually where they found the oldest remnants of the human species.
Okay.
And it's very interesting to see the museum. You can also go into Sterkfontein Caves. I'm jumping a little bit around up and down the country.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
This is a street scene in Kalk Bay.
Yes.
Kalk Bay is a very famous um, place where people swim and they
Mm-hmm.
eat and drink and enjoy themselves. It's beautiful. It's close to the beach. This is Hout Bay in the background, and this is a group. There's one of the most scenic drives is Chapman's Peak Drive.
Yes, in Cape Town. Mm-hmm.
Chapman's
That's right.
Peak Drive, and this is a picture of a university group. and they had a special way of posing for pictures. You can see like
Okay.
it's like a chicken or something. That every time you want to take a picture of them, they will take this pose.
And the guy in the red there is your guide. I've met him. Is it
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Anvil? Is it Anvil?
Anvil
Yes.
Valentine. Yeah,
Yes.
right.
So
That's
he's
Anvil
your
there.
guide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is a typical South African meal or a barbecue. You know, in the UK, if you guys do the same, I think you do the Weber stuff, but we are very fond of our braais or our
Yes, I
barbecues.
know. Well,
And I
it's
make
summer. It's summer at the moment, yeah, and it's been people have been barbecuing. They've been out and
right,
about. Yeah, we love it, but it's not quite. It's not quite the
is it?
braai that I'm used to.
Okay. So this is
Yeah.
let me see where I am now. I just want to get
And
my
then, Dion, besides your educational tours for the high school and the university, I also know that you do the beautiful mixed tours. And just tell us a little bit, because that also is a combination of, you know, attractions and also a little bit of education in those kind of tours.
well, that is what we call a package tour. And that is, we focus on an introduction to the highlights of South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people want to come to a country and then they just stay a long time in Cape Town, a longer time in Cape Town, but they don't see the rest of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So through the years, I've been developing what I call a beautiful mix.
Mm-hmm.
And as the name says, I will take you to all the highlights of South Africa. So it's a visit to all the different, not necessarily, and this is important, Chantal, not necessarily all the places where you will find on the brochures, you know, you have to stand there and you have to take a picture here. It's not about pictures, it's not about, we will do, you know, all the places where people are really wanting to see about South Africa. But it's a mix, and
Yes.
I think that is where the beauty lies. It's a mix, yes.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thanks for the people that are joining us on Facebook. I'd love your comments. They all look like it's all my friends.
Well, I hope that can give us a good feedback of how we
Yes, fantastic. We'd love some feedback from you guys.
right.
But we've kind of come to the end of our conversation tonight. If you could just stop sharing your screen, Dion, so that we could just conclude. Thank you so much for everyone joining. Over the next 2 days, tomorrow we'll be talking about volunteering. If you want to volunteer in South Africa, this is also what Temba Travel offers. And, you know, we kind of also can partner with Dion and his tours, Embrace South Africa, to make that happen. So it's also a combination of, you know, volunteering at a project, but also seeing, you know, some of the sites in South Africa. So, and then on Friday, we'll be talking about wildlife and conservation, and we'd love you to join us again. And, you know, tag your friends, everyone that wants to listen, everyone that's interested in joining and coming for a trip. Okay, so Dion, is that your travel cap?
I thought I should put on my hat, you know, for the final session. This is Embrace South Africa Tours. This is our emblem, but yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Dion, for joining us tonight. Thank you for giving some insight. We commit, Temba Travel, we commit that over the next few months, we're going to try to just share a little bit more of what makes our country beautiful until, you know, the borders open. We would love you to come and visit South Africa. We can cater for you as a couple, individual, groups even, and we just want to invite you to come and visit the country. So thanks, Dion, tonight for your time, and thank you so much, and we'll see you guys tomorrow evening, same time, 5 o'clock UK time, but 6 o'clock South Africa, and I don't know what other times in the USA, but you're so welcome. Please join us again tomorrow evening.
Thank you for the opportunity, and looking forward to see you guys in South Africa. I promise that we will give you a unique and a very authentic South African welcome and experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Leon.